Timmy Brown, it's damn good to have you, dude.
Thank you.
I remember hearing the name Timmy Brown around the neighborhood, but then I saw the Timmy Brown on a beach cruiser, long ass hair and a broken ass golf club, just cruising down the street. I'm like, who is this guy? So
everything
sounds
you
about
needed.
right.
yeah. And I remember, I was with that one group who were taking the new GTOs back in 05 and 06 and hot rodding them up and did some offerings with GM and drove up to the Woodward Dream Cruise and whatever. I remember driving those around, people saying, "You know Timmy Brown?" I'm like, no. I said, "You need to get to know that guy. You guys will get along." I'm like, introduce us, and it never happened. And then one day we stumbled into each other, or we got introduced, and
I know exactly how we met.
and then from then on, it's just been hanging out as often as possible. So I've been looking forward to a day to get you in the chair here just to shoot the shit and get a little bit more of what's going on between those ears, because there's a lot happening. There's a lot happening there. And of course, being able to hang out with Clint, Floyd, and Joel,
Sure.
the time you spent with them,
For sure.
it's always memorable, dude. So thank you.
Thank you for the invites.
Well,
Well, I don't know if I was invited. I've been pretty good about inviting myself my whole life.
Well, you got an open invitation. From the
Good,
day I
thank
met
you.
you, it's been an open invitation. Anytime Timmy Brown's got something going on, you show up.
You don't remember how we met?
I remember you walking up to me.
You
at
gave a
church.
talk.
Yeah, at church.
You gave a talk at church, and I heard 9 Inch Nails, Nirvana. I'm pretty sure you quoted Eddie Vedder a couple of times.
I did quote. What was it? Somebody came up to me because I quoted a Bond movie.
And I'm like, I got to know this guy, and you know me, I'm going to make him my friend. So after you got done, I walked up, and I'm like, "Hi, I'm Timmy. We're going to be friends." I liked everything you had to say.
Yeah,
It's
that's
gone
where
on
it
from there.
started, and then we had the opportunity to work with all the youth at that week-long camp, basically,
That's
where
right.
they turned us loose with chainsaws, and it was fun. It's like me and Timmy in the Jeep with chainsaws, and there's like, "Hey, we need wood in these campsites," and so we're like, "Cool, how much?" It's like, "Well, you guys just judge it." Like, "Well, how many kids we got?" Like 400. It's like, "Well, start taking down trees, and we're just sectioning up. Next thing you know, we've got like a full campsite just piled with wood.
12 cords of wood.
It was awesome. We just had a good time. You put us on a saw. We were just having a good time.
Yeah, I think you cut half the forest down, actually.
Well,
I'm pretty sure you did.
We found a dead stand. If you give me a steel, I was on it.
Yes, you were.
We had a really good time.
Timmy, how come you're not cutting any trees down? I'm like, well, I just need to cut up the ones that you've cut
Section
down.
all the crap up. So that was fun. We had a really
Yes, it
good time.
was.
So I was always curious, because for a guy to go from, I know you're working, I saw you on TV doing commercials for car stuff, short hair, shaved face, suit,
Corporate guy.
and then I see a guy riding on a beach cruiser with a hair to his ass and a busted ass golf club, just doing whatever the hell you wanted. Tell me about it. I never asked that question. I'm curious.
So I got married early.
Why?
My career, well,
Was there a reason for early?
I had 3 kids by the time I was 21 years old. So.
No, because maybe I'm stepping in territory I shouldn't be stepping, but.
Oh, not at all. Are you kidding me? I don't know. I was excited when my wife got pregnant. I heard you guys talking about getting beatings earlier, and those would end when you leave the house. So I was happy to get married. But I would say a 25-year car career, seeing myself laying there and getting to reflect on that, recognizing what was important in life. For me personally, I was able to climb the mountain very, very early in life. Had a lot of success due to others, not myself.
Well, how was that due to others? In what way? Because you got to participate somewhat in your own success.
Because there's only one of me. For me personally, I wrote goals when I was 18 years old, out to the age of 36. I should have written them further, but I wrote them until the age of 36. And you know as well as I do, you can't hit a target if you're not aiming at it.
Yeah.
And I wrote it step by step by step. And along the way, I had great mentors. And working for a company that was a Fortune 100 company and a private company that was the biggest in the world, getting to see how it was done through people and good people, I just gained a really good understanding early that you can do a lot more with a lot of people, especially if they enjoy what they're doing. And anyway, climbing the mountain quick, getting back to how I got to where I am. You can only experience something for the first time, I found, with hunting, with everything you ever do, where you get that first adrenaline rush, that goal that you're aiming for. And once you climb it, you can't reclimb a mountain for the first time. And it really, through hunting, I got to watch others experience something for the first time. And doing that allowed me to experience for the first time again. Watching a guy just have an adrenaline dump, fall down after he shoots something. We're so excited, he's kissing everybody in camp. Doesn't realize he's doing it. That's the most fun for me, is letting people see things for the first time again. And because I got married so early, had children so early, I had grandkids early.
Yeah.
And
man, you're seeing first things again every single day in that environment.
every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
I never thought about that, dude. That's some brilliant stuff, because that's what we're doing here. We put people in the Jeeps, we take them out bow fishing, fly fishing. I mean, the world has literally shut themselves into their own environment and not checked out what is out there. We want to show them that, and I've never been able to put that kind of a description to it so well that you just did.
I was just thinking the exact same thing. As you sit there talking about, like, light bulb. Like, it's literally.
It's cool,
to
huh?
Explain what we're doing.
That's what we're about.
Not even just for the show, but outside, just in life, right? Like,
I get more excited to watch someone else experience something that I love.
Yes.
That makes
It's like
total
that
sense.
growth and taking someone outside. Growth happens outside of your comfort zone, right? So if you can get someone out of their element, get them into a new element, and introduce something new, see someone with an adrenaline dump, see someone experience hunting or shooting or wheeling.
Falling off a rock cliff.
Wreck your Jeep. Wreck your Jeep for the first time, boys.
Or even just business, right? I mean, like I've always had that
Totally.
that internal, I don't know what you want to call it, but just the will to want to see
Sure.
other people do well. And I never thought about it that way.
It's pretty cool,
You
isn't
just
it?
said it. Yeah, I mean,
I think what you're
makes
describing
complete
is
sense.
passion.
Yeah.
For
sure.
you have the passion for something, so it excites you to see someone else experience it, especially for the first time.
Yeah.
We were talking earlier, it's like, if you've ever been in sales, which I think all of us in some way, shape, or form have been in sales, right? It's like, you kind of like to be sold because you are interested in the pitch.
Yes.
You like to hear someone with a good shtick and a good pitch. And
I want to see
and
hear
you get
somebody do it
excited.
different and better than me.
You get excited when someone else is like good at their craft. I have an employee right now, and he reached out to me literally yesterday, and he's like, we're in the real estate business, and he's like, I think I want to get my master's in real estate development from W.P. Carey. And he's like, he's not an executive at my company, he's an employee, and he said, would you be willing to talk with me about like your experience in the I was like, hell yeah, absolutely. I'm like, I would love to. I'm like, let's schedule like weekly meetings, and I know the guys over at the MRED program, and I'm like, I think I got more excited than he was excited. I'm like, I would love to help you do that.
Think how many guys you know, Joel, if they came to you today, young men, and wanted what you have, would you show them? Of course you would.
Of course I would.
Of course you would.
All day long.
Of course you would.
And the question is how. Well, what we know is there's just so few that'll actually climb the rocks and the trail and take those treacherous paths that we took to get here.
Or the tree.
The tree to take a picture of a sunset you did today. I mean, I heard stories about him climbing trees and doing other stuff with people, but it's there's something.
Just don't climb up behind.
Yeah, don't climb up behind Timmy. You'll get rained on.
You might fall out and get stitches too.
Yeah, because it's raining only in one spot.
Yellow rain.
So
I think that's a great lesson. Should be said again. Like, if you're out there and you're young and you're struggling and you're trying to figure it out, reach out to the people. Like, call your boss, call your boss's boss, call the owner of the company. Skip all the bullshit of like the middle management.
Middle management are only there
Call
to
the
cause
owner
problems.
of the company and say, I want to learn, and I'm like highly motivated and interested. You just tell me what to do and I'll do it. When someone like us gets a call like that, we get
Excited.
goosebumps.
Goosebumps.
Dude,
and
Literally.
literally like we want to help
You know, I've had because
they're not jerking off.
in the
That
business
person,
exactly
you
in
know?
the business that I'm in, I've had other loan originators. That's why I'm just licensed loan originator. Just happens to be really really successful at it. Guy called me up out of California. He goes, dude, I've heard you on podcasts. I've seen you on different videos. I see your name pop up all over the place when it comes to investment real estate. What do I got to do? Like, you really interested? I said, yeah. I said, okay, let's sit down and talk about it. And I laid it all out, and he literally got scared. He goes, I don't know if this is the business for me. Well, what's the truth?
But
This
that's
is
a
how it
blessing
goes.
that you can share that with him, because it's not the path for everyone. It's a very difficult path. It is very tough, and it's like, but some people maybe aren't cut from that cloth, and they don't want to go down that path. But to help them at least figure that out early, there's a million other paths.
It gets back to that whole participation trophy
Right.
thing we had back with the episode with Keith. It's help people find what their superpower is, and sometimes it is blocking them, telling them the truth about it, not jerking off, saying, "Oh, you're going to be awesome at it," just because you're going to get paid. So, too many bosses tell you you're going to be awesome at something because you're making them just enough money, and they don't care. How many people in my industry do 1 to 2 transactions a month, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're fine." No, you're not fine. Get the F out and go do something else if you're not doing 10 to 12. You're wasting your time and your energy. The fact that you wrote goals is a big damn deal to me that early in life. I didn't write them until 40. I didn't learn to write goals till 40. I didn't absorb, I heard it, but I didn't absorb it till 40. And now
That
my
was
goals
20 years ago, though. Now, right?
It feels like it, right? It feels like it was what I've been able to accomplish in the last 5 years.
Attaboy.
But when you consider my goals, they don't have an end. I don't have a peak to my mountain. You talk about climbing the mountain. My mountain has an endless peak. I can't see it because the second I know there's a peak, then I start to lose my excitement.
I'm lucky. I'm ADD OCD.
Well,
So I just got to see it on a scroll and I find
ODD,
the next thing.
ADD, OCD doesn't even describe you. Somebody tells me, okay, you may or may not like this description. Some people say, hey, do you know Tim Brown? It's like, oh yeah, he's so-and-so. It's like, well, how do I recognize him? It's like, he's the redneck Jack Sparrow. And they're like, I seen that guy. They had right over and find Timmy.
I was supposed to meet him somewhere. I got there, had to look up in a tree, and there he was.
He's just all over the place. Just
I'm
just
looking for
moving.
the idiot with his hair on fire. There he is.
Dude, I haven't hung out with you near as much as Aaron has, but I gotta say, every time I hang out with you, I feel like a kid again. I do. It's like, it's fun. You have a zest for life.
Thank you.
That is awesome to watch, man.
You're searching for that first time experience again.
We have to, and I think that's one of those reasons that I invite myself. And I really do. I invite myself to things all the time. Hear somebody talk like, what are you guys doing there?
Yeah.
I want to go. I got a lot of cool shit.
Missouri.
I'll go.
Missouri
I
was a
invite
good.
myself.
I know.
You're going? I'm in.
Blast.
Like, wait, you're what? I got a ticket. Okay, I guess I got a bed for you. Okay, good. I'll sit in back. But if you don't invite yourself
Missouri
in life, I
and
don't
the
know.
elk hunt, those were great times.
I
And
invited
you're right.
myself on your elk hunt.
Well, no,
That's kinda
we
what
invited you on the elk hunt. You were
Oh, I was going when I heard you got drawn.
Think about that metaphor, though. We just talked about it. Like, you're experiencing all these amazing things because you're stepping up and you're inviting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And for those people out there that are like, how do I get to the next level? Well,
Ask.
you invite yourself.
Ask. Open your mouth.
Go to
Invite
Missouri.
yourself.
Open your mouth.
walk in the damn boardroom and sit your ass down.
Would you guys not want to watch 10 more people fall off rocks like your Jeep? Absolutely. See, they're all invited.
Yes,
Of course
I
we want you to
absolutely
join.
want to watch the other 9 people do it.
They're all
Because
invited.
it starts to blend the story where it's not just me. That would help.
I invited myself on the year of your hunt. I went on 7 elk hunts that year, and I invited myself on every single one of them.
And,
Every one of them.
what's interesting is you say you invite yourself, but you got open invitation. I think with every single person who showed up, they're like, "Awesome, Timmy's here."
2 guys showed up in
Never-
camp, though.
It's never going to be a dull moment if you show up. Now everybody's like,
about
"Oh, dude, we're going to be able to control him." Stuff's going to get out of hand, and it did, but it was awesome. It was a damn good time. And my kids, they all say Uncle Timmy, just like Keith, Uncle Keith, Uncle Joe. Oh, actually, it's Uncle Puppy, Uncle Panky over there,
Killer
Uncle Clint.
nickname.
You guys, every single one of you've got a place in my family that my kids have placed you at.
Love
And
that.
I hope that they garner some of these lessons, because when you're seeking that first time experience all the time, you never run out of cool stuff to do. And there's always cool stuff to do. Having a repetitive day just sucks.
Life happens.
And the thing
in
about
the
business is repetitive days.
It's one of the things that's most attractive about what we're doing here to me personally is that I get to get completely out of my element. I'm about to go do a ropes rescue course in Jerome, Arizona.
Right?
Like,
This is
fire
what are you doing that
department.
for? You gonna start
Like,
rescuing people?
someone was
no,
like-
I want to learn how.
Someone was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I don't know,
I don't either.
but I'm doing it. I'm inviting myself."
Right?
You know? And Chapman said that. He's like, one of the things is like you're just willing to kind of like try new things. Like, I don't know how to frickin' do these Jeep things, Everything we did today. We swapped 2 axles today. Like, flip, I don't know. What did we do? Flip them? Yeah, we flipped them.
Flipped axles
Flipped
on
the
the side
shit
of
out
the
of
road
those
on the damn
axles.
parking
But how
lot,
great is that? Not
which I
to
thought was
happen,
kind of
huh?
crazy. We were going to try, but
Well,
what the
shit.
hell is get it done?
Show me.
And guess what? I know how to do it now.
Right?
And I also surround myself with people who know more than me. Like, in different subject matters. It's like, that's kind of the spice of life. It's like, invite yourself into new things. Surround yourself with people who know things that you don't know. If you find yourself the smartest person in the room, you need a new room.
Get the hell out of that room.
Right.
The second you find yourself at the top of a pile, you need to find a bigger pile.
So I want to hear more about your career. Like, I know,
It's
like
interesting.
you say you climbed the ladder. Like, we just kind of glazed over that. That shit ain't easy.
What mountain and how? I mean,
No, but it kind of along the lines of what you said. I used to get, when I went to the corporate world, and I'd get asked all the time, it was because we had the biggest parts department in the world, the biggest service department as far as ROs were, the biggest sales department. I would always get asked in the corporate meetings, okay, now tell us about parts. What are you doing for us? And I'm the general manager. I don't know. I just hired the best parts guy in the world.
Yeah.
No. Okay, smart ass. Just kind of tell us about what you had in mind. I don't know what you didn't understand about what I said, boss. I hired the best parts guy in the world. I'm not a parts
I'm not a parts guy.
I had the best service guy in the world. I had the best sales guy in the world. I went and found the best used car guy.
You're a
Went and
talent,
found the
you're a
best
talent
salespeople.
acquisition guy.
I mean, I wasn't. And it was like people always wanting my job was a phenomenal thing. 7 guys that wanted my job ended up being general managers within the corporation. And that
Just
was
growth.
made my job that just much easier.
Yeah.
Because they're busting their butt to do so. But personally, it was a mentor gave me a chance because I asked. And that's what it
you
was.
invited yourself.
I invited myself to an open position, period, and I took it. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I can't believe I didn't get fired. When I left the company 10 years later, my brother took my job, and I didn't know I had a nickname at corporate, which was Teflon Tim, because I must have stepped in a lot of buckets. But it was just, it was a 51-49 thing, and luckily I made the 51 side of the equation, and they kept me. But mine was basically because it was golden. I knew what I wanted to do, and I was absolutely passionate about getting to where I wanted to get. When I started in the automotive industry and cleaning cars, parts department, service department, body shop, I kind of went all the way through. And making minimum wage, being married for the first 3 years living in a trailer on the reservation is motivating. So
Optionless motivation.
Option,
we
yes.
talked about that earlier.
Yes.
You have no other option but to find a
Yeah.
path to success.
Well, and I can back up a lot of that thought process. If you don't know what you're doing, just step into it. My entire career has been I have no idea what's around the next corner, but I'm just going to go balls out into it. And I remember that day, like you're talking about Teflon Timmy, sitting down with the divisional executive VP, and pulling me and talking to me about taking the next step in a role, and saying, "You've got a lot of people in this company that love you." And she goes, "If you don't know that, because you should have been fired 100 times." She says, "But people care about you enough that you're still here. Now we want to give you a management position."
But that comes from you caring about those people.
Exactly. And a lot of the times I did a lot of rogue crap, but that rogue crap ended up being, beneficial moves because it's way outside of the norm. I don't doubt everything you did was way outside the norm, but it had a result that they couldn't calculate and end up being a really, really good result. And they couldn't see the result coming because they were trying to follow a path that was paved by somebody else that couldn't think outside the box before.
Probably the greatest thing that ever happened to me growing up is my father. He always, it's, all right, boys, go build that. How? Figure it out. Okay, we're going to do it wrong. You're going to beat the tar out of us, but we'll figure it out. And I think in life, when you start to try and figure things out, it's like my little brother built a enormous 4-acre fence with stone around his backyard. People are just amazed. How did you do it? Like, he picked a corner. He started.
Yeah.
And a year later, one post at a time, that's what it looks like. You've fretted for 12 months on starting, whoever that person is, I don't know how he did it is. It's pick a corner.
Yeah.
Start.
Instead of rock.
One of
yeah.
my start. It's one of my favorite sayings. We actually have it painted on a wall at my office.
Pick a corner.
It's the start that stops most people.
Yes. 100%.
It's like, just get, even if it's wrong, even if you're going to fail on that try, like, just get moving.
If you have butterflies,
Do something.
you really need to do it.
Right.
Because then you're learning.
Right.
Anything I've ever been scared to do, it's like, crap, that means I have to do it.
And we don't encourage people to continue to make the same mistakes, but it's like we encourage people to make mistakes. Because you're, like we just say, fail forward, like continue to fail forward. Like, if you make a mistake, all right, clean it up and move on. I would rather have an employee or a partner or an executive moving forward and making mistakes than paralyzed with indecision. And that, like, indecision for me is like, I would say no is my second favorite answer. It's like, just go do it. Like, and we'll figure it out. If it's, I hired you for a reason.
It's
Like,
so
I
damn
partnered with
frustrating
you
when
for
they're
a reason.
paralyzed. It just pisses me off.
Yeah.
Well, the other day Wednesday when we met with that company, talking with the marketing director.
Yeah.
I think you had taken off actually. We're talking about the show.
I leave early a lot.
And we're talking about the synopsis of what the show means, right? What the message is. And she takes it with a 10-minute conversation. She takes that and immediately applies it to her own life. And she tells me a story about how she wrote a novel. And she had that novel finished with an agent. And the agent promised her that she would be able to put this into get it published right away, right? It's been 6 months. And she admits to me, she goes, sitting here listening to you talk, she goes, I'm kicking myself now. Because she goes, I've been afraid to call my agent because of rejection. I haven't heard from her, the publisher.
Wow.
And I've been afraid to call her because I don't know what she's going to say about why I'm not publishing it. And she goes, I'm calling her tomorrow. Wow.
Have we heard back from her?
We have to.
No, we got to reach out to her and find out what
Get connected
happened.
with your publisher.
What happened with the publisher. I was
Yeah.
like curious to find out what happened there.
She's waiting
If she
for
did
an email
call,
from us.
if she called or whatever, I'd love to hear that. And I'll just tell you, man, when I was sitting there with my editor and we're doing the brain dump to create the book, because I already wrote one. You know, I wrote one 370 pages, and they read it and like, hey, this is all great stuff, but nobody gives a shit. Write something people give a shit about first, and then you can publish this, because this is great stuff, but they want to care about you first. So I said, okay, how do we do that? She goes, well, come out to my lake house in Washington, and we'll do it. So we sat down for 2 days. I remember it just wasn't working. I had to get up. I said, listen, give me a minute. And I went to the bathroom. I sat there. I stared in the mirror. You know, those times you wash your face, you stare in the mirror, see it in the movies, and you're like, what the hell am I doing here? There's no way this could come to anything. I was like, well, I'm here. And so I went back out there and I said, okay, we're going to figure this out. Let's just do this thing. And everything that happened there was all just good groundwork, good foundation. Everything I published is completely different than what happened at that time. And now we're on a path.
Life is a pro forma.
Exactly.
You know, like your goals, did they happen exactly the way you set them out?
Oh, no. No, they happened faster, actually.
Well, good. I mean, but that's great.
But that's
Oh, no,
'cause
but I
you set
bumped
them
my
out.
head so hard along the way.
But
Are
it's
you kidding
different,
me?
right?
Oh, 100%.
And you hit,
But
you
think of
bobbed
it
and weaved.
with
Oh,
her.
yeah, no, for sure.
Her situation is, think of how much time she lost, right? 6 months. She's lost 6 months of not knowing what direction she should have gone, right?
Yep.
Like you. They sat down and went, crap, right now, crap. If you'd have sat there for years, 6 months, whatever, you just wasted all that time. And probably opportunities, right? You told us the story earlier about an opportunity, something that happened bad in your business. And it was you not wasting time that opened up a whole nother door, right? If you'd have waited a day, a week, in fact, literally a week. If you'd have waited a week, you'd have lost nothing.
Yeah.
You would,
For sure.
because you would have bought the other one.
Yes,
Right.
for sure.
So invite yourself, make the phone call, stop being afraid.
Get out of your
Start.
comfort zone.
Quit jerking off. This started.
Yeah.
Get through. If there's anything one thing I like what you just said. If it scares me, damn it, now I got to do it.
You got
You got butterflies, you got to do it.
Like I've done. God, this could suck.
One thing I
Just for a minute. Just for a minute. It's like, I wasn't that bad.
Yeah, we've cracked a lot of teeth, shed a lot of blood because I was a little bit scared. And what's funny is if you don't, it's kind of like a backflip. You have to fully commit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just commit.
There's
ever done a half
absolutely
backflip?
It's called the Stingray. The Scorpion
You
Queen.
cannot
The
half-ass
Scorpion
that.
Queen.
That's right.
Clint.
one thing I'd like to circle back to, Tim.
Yeah.
You said you were a successful leader because you put the right people in those positions.
Okay.
What are you looking for in those people? What do you value?
I
'Cause
value.
obviously you value people. Sorry to take that.
No, you're fine. I value people. I think you can train anybody to do anything. I think if you find a guy that's an amazing doctor, has been an amazing real estate guy, has been an amazing car salesman, has been an amazing author. So if you find somebody with passion for life, passion just in general, I think you can teach them anything if they want to do it. I've got a young man that works with me right now to kind of give you an idea. He has an accounting degree. He is no more a salesman than that rock. That rock's actually got a lot more personality. He's done an amazing job just because of his tenacity. He wanted to learn it. He was going to learn it. And I says, I will take you from A to Z in the industry. I'll teach you all of it. I'll let you ride shotgun with me, and you can have what I have. And it's interesting because I did it with he and two other young men. The other two young men, one was my son-in-law. He's got his own business in this thing now. But at the time, the other two says, there's no way he'll do that. That doesn't make sense. And what they didn't understand, why would he do that?
He's going to share all his
He's going to share his
industry
knowledge.
insider knowledge.
And what they didn't understand is what they were going to do my work. I was going to help them along the way. They were going to bump their heads, and they did. Braden did really hard. Sorry, Braden. But you fast forward 5 years later, I told them it's a bell curve. I said, you're here, I'm here. We're going to go like this. Pretty soon it's going to be like this. And I said, I'm coming down here, and hopefully we have 5 or 6 of them, and you're doing them all. And you just send me a check. And they literally didn't think I would do that. And we're to the point now that he understands. I get it now. You don't come in very often. Exactly. That was the intent.
I already did the work.
But
I climbed the mountain
and
already.
we want to give it away so damn badly, but so frustrating when somebody doesn't want to follow. Like, just literally, just follow me. I will pay the freaking path. You'll just come.
Just find
show
the work.
interest.
Yeah.
Show interest, and I will give you all the secrets to what it takes. You know how people accept that? They're so few to accept it. When you find the one, you're so
Better
damn
hang on.
excited.
Yeah.
They get you so excited to get up every day, but there's so many that don't have the balls to follow. It doesn't take that much.
And make it a fun environment. Have fun doing anything.
Yeah,
Have fun doing anything. Make any situation a good time, and it's a lot more tolerable. I used to love to get up and go to work. I like getting home. I like to go to work. But not because I didn't like my family. I just really was that passionate about what I wanted to try and achieve. So I was passionate about it.
We've talked about it before. It's like, I feel strongly that you start to know when you're really trying to, like, you're hitting your stride from a success perspective when the line blurs between work and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And everything just feels like, what is it, the master in the art of living sees no sharp distinction between his work and his play. And to others looking inward, they always look like they're doing the same thing. It's like what we're doing now, like we're playing, dude. We're having fun. We're shooting an episode. We're talking to smart people. We're expanding our horizons. This is fun for me, for certain. And other people would be like, that dude's working right now.
It
like,
is fun, but it
am
is
I?
a ton of work.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
Getting
Everything's
our asses
commitment.
in these chairs.
Don't get me wrong.
The sleepless nights, the 3 a.m. shop time,
2:30 in the morning.
wow.
I
the amount
gotta
of time
say,
we have getting our ass kicked to get here, and it's worth every
over
second.
the last month, I can't for my whole life, I don't think I've woken up at 2:30 more times than this past month. And I'm 43. I'm telling myself, I'm like, should I really be doing this? You know what? Screw it. We're doing it.
It's happened enough, dude, that it's actually I used to have a 4:30 a.m. schedule. Let's stick that up. So there's something about that whole thing. Now my schedule is all screwed up. I'm waking up at 3 all the time now. And I say that's screwed up because I wake up at 4:30 and I have my routine. My routine's been screwed up because we're putting so much time in the shop, but it's worth it because that's paint dividends. And it's not so much even who cares where this goes. We get to hang together, you know, and we're accomplishing things. We look behind us, of the stuff that we built, we did that with our hands, right?
I've never built anything physically like that in my life. I've built companies, I've built relationships, I've built people up, I've built a lot of things. I've never bent metal and welded, grinded, and like literally grinded. Not the grind, like literally we're grinding metal. I'm proud of what we're doing. Like, this is fun. It's a ton of work,
Right?
Don't get me wrong.
We stopped the other morning.
And it's frustrating, and we argue a little bit.
Oh, we're fighting, throwing shit. Where's my freaking trailer? Well, I moved it out. Like, I was
This
working
morning.
on that.
I mean,
Why'd you tie them on so tight, Joel?
Or
by the way, guys. By the way, I'm not the one that's gonna find something wrong and be like, we should fix that. Just give me some direction, and I'll go do it.
What I thought was really cool is yesterday we were bumping into each other in the shop with the two trailers, and they say, guys, we stopped. It's like, remember this moment.
You were pissed.
It's like,
Life's
remember
about
this.
the rodeo.
Yeah.
It's like,
You guys
this is
ever
gonna be.
remember like the easy times?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the rodeos.
Yeah.
Yep. Remember this moment because we
Right?
look back on that with fondness.
Yes.
Well,
And we were frustrated. We were just trying to get shit done.
Sometimes you gotta you're sliding into home on your deal, right? Like this week. Trailer gets finished yesterday. Jeep gets done yesterday. Stuff's getting delivered to the house last night, And then
in the
this
shop all day
this morning, wife, you think we got it dialed in? Bam! Life will slap the living shit out of you. And we're stuck in a parking lot in Scottsdale swapping an axle out or whatever we did to that thing. Yeah,
Flip the axle.
Doesn't really matter.
Whatever it
Call them
was.
the bucket the shit of life.
Whatever it was, there's
can
professionals in
wallow in
offices unhappy
You
with
can
it.
use it as manure and grow a new talent.
Grow
roses. Grow something.
Grow something.
So, Timmy, we got to ask, and we ask it every time. What is the absolute best thing that ever happened to you that was actually the worst thing that could have happened at the time? And let me flip that. What was the worst thing that's happened to you that was the best thing that could have happened?
That's my whole life, I think. Not listening. Not listening has probably been the worst and the best thing for me. Because by not listening, I learned the very hard way how to do things. And I think that's it. And it took me a long time. And I just stated it. I call them the buckets of shit in life. But as you walk that road of life, every bucket you step in, so many people get stuck wallowing in it, as opposed to grow something out of it, next bucket. And I didn't figure that out. I did it my whole life and didn't realize it until changing a flat tire with a young man. The day had gone to absolute crap. And this is at like 45 years of age. This is like 5 years ago. And I was so mad. We were supposed to be somewhere at 3 o'clock in the desert. 11 o'clock. We weren't leaving until 3 o'clock. He gets a flat tire in my truck. I flip around on the freeway to go, and you know me, changing the tire, and Jake looks at me. He's all of 21 years old and says, what else are we doing? I kind of looked at him. I'm like, oh, we're supposed to be, and he goes, let's take 10 minutes. He goes, and we'll probably spend more time right here than when we get there. And when he said that, it hit me so hard to enjoy the rodeo. Enjoy the rodeo, because I look back in life, I don't remember shit, because I've been in a lot of them, but the really big ones, that is what I remember, are the rodeos in life. So I would say the best, worst thing is me never listening, because it helped me learn a whole lot of things. And I'm not telling people not to listen. Say that again?
Yeah.
But that, for me personally,
Say that again.
What were you saying?
for me personally, I guess that comes down to trying.
We remember the scars. I can tell
Sure.
every story to every scar that I've got.
Do you remember every time you put lotion on?
Okay, I don't.
Do you remember
I remember a couple of times I put lotion on.
Okay, I'm with you.
Oh wait, quit jerking off.
There's a theme here we're supposed to be avoiding.
Sorry.
But I can tell all the stories to that and all the beatings that you took, but you can't tell all the stories of the big wins, because sometimes you don't realize there were wins. But you do know when you took a beating.
For sure. Well, the
We all know
win,
when we took it. And we always
the
know
beatings
path
come
not
all
to take.
before the win.
Oh yeah.
The win is like, okay, well, it's over, I won. It's like
Yeah,
sliding
exactly.
into home.
No,
Say,
that's
okay, now I
fine
got to
you
get the
say
next
that,
thing to
man.
get my
Well,
stomach in my throat.
And it's like the goals thing, right? What was his name that climbed Everest the first time? What's the guy's name? Edmund. Was it Edmund?
Sure.
Mr. Everest climber.
I can't remember his name, but he had a goal. Years upon years upon years, staring at that from a telescope to figure out the path up. He finally took it. Edmund Hillary. He gets to the top of Everest. How long did he get to stay on his goal? 15 minutes?
Yeah, not long.
15 minutes. Why? Because that bitch will kill him. They'll kill all of us. Never find the peak of your goal, because the second you relax on your goal, you're dead. Always have something so far away that you'll never achieve it, but you will achieve greatness in the process.
And enjoy it on the way.
Enjoy it. Enjoy every bit of it. I've enjoyed every beating I've taken. It sucked. When I look back on it,
At the time you did, but after.
what's that?
Oh, after.
After.
You realize.
After. It was worthwhile getting it after the fact, but not during it.
I gotta say, like, I've been to, your biggest triumphs, or you set that goal and you go and you hit that goal. I can remember very vividly getting that first 7-figure check and like putting it in my account and like seeing it in my, like, logging on every day. Like a weird thing. Like,
cash it and
I'm gonna
roll
go
it
like
my brother.
Like, did that really happen? Am I still dreaming? I log on. Shit, it's still there.
1 second.
But it wasn't even that, like, reaching the goal. That my business partner Jeff, who's my best friend and my business partner for 20 plus years, it wasn't getting the goal. It's the story of how we got there. It was the battle.
Yeah.
And it was the battle of how we figured that deal out and, like, the risks we took. And we talked with Keith earlier about, like, raising money and how difficult it is to put your word on the line, and, like, the only thing you have in life is trust and your word and your bond, and it's tough, and you can't ever screw that up, you get one shot, so
No. By the grace of God and the people around you, do you have more than one?
yeah. So
Because if you didn't have more than one, you wouldn't make nothing, because you have to make a mistake to be able to make the right decision.
yeah, but don't break your bond, and like, everyone makes mistakes,
Exactly.
but find
But
a
not
way to
sh-
follow
but-
through on your word.
And that's
Is the point.
that's. I
Like,
think
you're gonna
that's
trip along the
I
way.
think that's intention,
Yeah.
right? If you're going at intentionally taking advantage versus, the intention of trying to do right but making mistakes. There's two different, two different sides of the same coin of intention.
It's treating other people's money better than you would ever treat your own.
Yeah.
And, like, knowing that, like, someone just gave their, and we're not talking about people who are, billionaires that are writing a check for 50 grand. We're talking about people who are, like, actually, like, invested in you personally, and your success matters to them because they're giving you money that matters to them. in
Yeah,
their life.
they have 49 grand. They're scraping together the other.
It's the money it took them 10 years to save, right? And now they're handing it to you. And that's
That weighs heavy.
weighs heavy.
Weighs very, very heavy, and that's
And you can't screw that up.
there's that, and there's the people that work for you, that trust you to go out there and keep the business flowing. There's so many people that trust, and you can't violate that. The second you violate that, everything's gone. Everything's gone. I don't know how people even can sleep when they consider violating those things.
Someone stepped on a duck. I heard it. There's spiders here. I knew it. They're sleeping off the ground. It wasn't under mine, though.
Bound to happen eventually.
So if you can offer one last bit of advice, Timmy, to people out there paying attention, what would that be?
Stay the course. Whatever it is, run the marathon, run the race. If you set a goal to do something, and remember to run the race. It's a marathon. Life isn't a sprint. It's absolutely a marathon.
It's going to beat your ass.
It's going to
keep you there if you lead it. If you let it, keep getting up.
If you pick your
Keep
industry,
getting
all
up.
you guys within your industries, if when you were 20 years of age, you said, I will get there by your age is today, you'd have gotten there a lot faster. But who do you know that stayed the course in their industry and didn't end up doing well?
True.
I look at insurance agents. I don't know one insurance agent at 40 that works. If you started at 20, that they've learned to live on nothing for 5.
Right.
The renewals come in around 10 years, and pretty soon they're used to living on nothing, and then this snowball effect comes. They're
Jake
sporty.
or
They all do
something,
the same, and it's every industry.
Yeah.
You know, that sells cars, that 20 years later, he's still selling cars. Well, he sold them to so many, everybody knows that's what you do. You with your mortgage. You know what I mean? So people kind of know what you do and you stay the course and continue to learn, continue education in whatever it is that you're doing. Like in the automotive industry. Clint, I know you're a body guy. It's, and then if you could only fix this, what good are you if that goes away, you know? So for me personally, it's stay the course and continue your education and be the best at what you do.
And I echo that. The guys where I first started, nobody's in the industry anymore. The day I walked in there, they're all gone. But I remember the branch manager at the time telling me you were going to be in the top 1% of this industry. And that was in the first year I was there. I don't know what that meant. But yeah, I'm in the top 10% or 1% right now. And because he told me that, I stayed with it. I don't know if he told the rest of the people there, because they didn't stay with it. Like you said, persistence, consistent persistence. But it has to be consistent persistence and something of value, because if it's consistent persistence and stupidity, you're just going to be a very, very,
really
very good,
at
stupid
being
person,
stupid.
right? So I just appreciate you taking the time, sharing your wisdom. You're coming. No, you got life wisdom for days. You're coming back. We want you to spend more time with us. Get on the trails with us. Hang with us. Impart that to the people who share their time with us.
Disappear from time to time.
And then, of course, tomorrow.
I love doing that.
And then tomorrow
I
we'll
love
be on the
doing
road.
that. I will disappear.
So when we started this interview, we talked about, you listened to Aaron give his speech in church, and you had to be there.
Mm-hmm.
This is my kind of guy. Well, a couple of years ago, we did that firearms training with Carlos. Right? I met you. Of course, I knew of your family because I grew up in Mesa. I met you. I met your son-in-law. Or I think it was your
Son-in-law.
future son-in-law at the time, maybe.
Rock, yep.
Well, after leaving that weekend, I was proud to say Tim Brown is my friend. Like, getting to know you.
Thank you. That means a boatload, dude. Because I care about people, Clinton. I truly do care about people. And when you care about people, you listen to people, you know what they do, you understand what they do, and you talked about relationships earlier. People ask me all the time, like, how? And you guys, we're kindred spirits. We like all the same things, so this is easy. We like people, yeah. But I learned one day about a Kamamatsu 645D motor and what a piece of shit it was for 45 minutes. And 3 of my friends walked away, and when I finally got done listening about this motor, that I can still tell you what it is 5 years later. He says, how did you do that? Do what? Well, you sat and talked to that dude. You didn't talk to him, you listened to him for 45 minutes about the same motor, and he kept telling the same thing over and over and over. Okay, what's your point? Well, how did you do it? How did I do it? What I was giving to him, not what he was giving to us. You guys are doing this, you can't wait to get out of there. You think he doesn't recognize that?
Right.
I did. He's not an idiot. He's talking about a motor, not a dodo bird. You know, you pay attention to you two wanting to leave. So for me personally, it's engaging and truly caring about people. Because we all got a story, right? We've all had a rough, but we haven't not.
Well, you're a genuine person.
Well, I'm grateful to be here, so I'm grateful for these friendships.
It's been awesome to get to know you, brother.
And same with you guys. We've had some great conversations. I've watched you guys, both of you. I watched when we were in Missouri. It was really cool to watch you around kids because both of you were mentoring. I mean, about half sideways and still mentoring with young men and the kids that were there. And it was really
Somebody's
cool to watch.
got to fucking teach them.
That's right. But that's what I noticed was
Their
you guys.
parents won't, we will.
But you took interest in both of you did in the kids. If that behavior is not going to persist, it's because I'm going to get involved.
There's another way. There's another way.
So I knew with you two, I'm like, all right. I think it's when you're kindred spirits, it's easy. But when you love people and their story, and you understand that none of us are normal because we're all different, right?
Yep. Well, and the world's got a lot of problems. People talk about the problems the world's got. All the problems are created by people, right? All the problems will be solved by people. You know, and if you just build the relationships, like you said, have involvement with people, quit jerking off and start moving forward. Don't allow the start to stop you. I mean, the lessons we're getting from this little sit down, huge. I'm actually walking away from things I'm going to start implementing into my world just because you came, you shared, you opened up what's between your ears and allowed us in. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
If anybody listening here has not gotten anything from us, you haven't frickin' been listening at all.
Which I think is
staring at
the
a
theme.
damn screen.
Should be the theme of this episode. Is listen. And you can apply that
And
to
invite
the world
yourself.
right now. Right?
Sure.
There's so much division, so many people going so many different ways. Nobody's listening. We have problems. We're always going to have problems with mankind, right? But there's always a solution.
Always a solution.
If we listen.
I think about the guy that cuts me off every day in traffic. I used to get so mad at it, and I finally realized, why am I mad? I drove just like that guy, and he's probably my best friend. I just haven't met him yet. That's it. That jerk drove just like I would, and I'm pissed.
And we have no idea what's
buddy, I just
motivating
haven't
him
met
and
him
where he's
yet.
going.
We have no idea what's happening
Yeah.
in his world at that time.
No clue.
Sometimes it's a simple mistake. Sometimes they're just dealing with shit we don't know about.
Just relax. Care more about the other person more than yourself, and life gets awesome. It really does.
That and I figured the lights in town are time, so it doesn't do any good to speak from one to the next.
Exactly. They're keeping you there. So thanks, man.
Thank you.
And thanks for paying attention, guys. Thanks for listening. Go backwards. Listen to it again. There's a lot of great intel that came out of this, man.
Cheers.
Cheers.